Yes.
You're gonna need some soft keys.
Oh.
Sweet.
You guys are seeing the chat? I'm not seeing the chat.
Oh, we're just seeing a chat on Instagram.
Oh,
Okay, it looks like we're live on YouTube.
Cool.
Hearing that there's a weird background noise. Uh-oh. We gotta fix the mic.
Well, this mic's not connected to that live stream.
Oh, it's just my phone mic.
Yeah.
Oh, do we have to talk really loud?
Great question.
I don't know. Go to YouTube.
Yeah, our YouTube stream is hooked up to the actual mic. So if you're on YouTube live, although this is easier to see your comments on Instagram. So again,
I know.
welcome to
Wow.
our first live stream. Hopefully we don't
Yeah.
look back on this with only sadness and regret.
Would
Oh
have
my
been cute if
gosh.
we had just tried it once, maybe without inviting people. But
No, I like it this
I
way.
think this is great too because it's raw, it's uncut, it's uncut gems.
Okay.
I'm not saying anything on YouTube. I'm saying the recorded one.
That's okay.
That's
you
all
can
right.
just go to a different tab.
Oh, sorry. Spiritual head of our podcast is trying to see if we're live on YouTube. We know that it says that we're live on YouTube. We know that we're live on Instagram. Thank you, friends, for being here. Why don't we just, since we're live, let's start with a question.
Yeah. What's our first question?
Hit me with your best shot, Andy.
Sure. All right. Let's just start at the top. We're gonna work our way down.
Okay. I didn't even get a blanket.
You're
Are you
naked.
cold?
Well, yeah.
She needs her emotional support blanket. I have my emotional support rose.
Makes sense.
We just
Oh,
had
yeah.
really
Yeah.
excellent snack fest because when
So
you
good.
when you smoke a little, you gotta snack a little.
Yes.
We're at Meg's house. I drove down just for this. I originally had a meeting in Eugene today and they canceled the meeting, but I was like, we had already told the world we were going live. So we're like, we're doing it. We got to push ourselves.
Yep. We've got to stick with our word. Let our yes be yes and our no be no. Am I right, guys?
Ma'am.
Amen.
Oh, I forgot, you guys, the way I was going to start this, I had this genius idea. I was going to be like, welcome to Holy Ghosting, a podcast where friends are friends forever if the Lord's the Lord of them.
Yes.
That's our
friends.
new-
Let's
friends
consider
forever.
this the real start. Okay, now
Okay,
we're actually
now we're
starting.
actually
The other
live.
stuff was
Okay,
just
okay.
bonus material.
Here's the snap.
Okay.
And cut.
Thank you.
Just kidding. We're still
Nope.
live.
We're live.
Okay. Action.
Okay. You didn't do the like.
Oh.
Oh, I did it backwards.
Okay. We're on air in 3.
Action.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're not
everyone.
supposed to mouth
I
it.
think we didn't mean to. We didn't mean to.
Yeah, we did it. Welcome to Holy Ghosting, a podcast about deconstruction and friends are forever if the Lord's the Lord of them. It was
That's right.
better before.
right.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
I
I
can't
think
get
it was
twice.
great. You
Lightning
know
only
what?
strikes.
You do it raw. You
Once.
do it live, Lindsay. That's what you do.
Doing a live
And
for
we're
the Lord.
in it.
Okay, Andrew. What's our first question?
All right, I'm trying to get you in frame, Lindsay.
If you which way do I need to go?
Oh, on this
Shoot
one.
your
All right.
eyes.
Does it still sound weird, friends of Instagram?
Friends of Instagram.
Alright, it-
Babe, watch your.
Well, you're
cup.
still watching, so thank you for sitting with us. All right, what's our first question?
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can move this lower.
Meg being the meggiest. She's not fixing shit.
Yeah. It is her natural habitat. So
I'm just wondering if I can get it so that it's more level, like the eye level.
yeah. Those of you who
No.
have a
Oh,
sensitive
nope. We
stomach,
lost the
you
phone.
should probably close your eyes for a few minutes.
Oh no! And we're back.
Hi.
I did not tighten this. Sorry, that was my bad.
That's okay.
I'm going to be doing a lot of this.
It's because I was trying to make
Camera one,
emergency calls.
camera 2, camera 1, camera 2.
I'm looking at this one because I can see people responding to us. So
Okay, that's nice. That is encouraging.
it probably got real choppy there for mine. I'm really sorry.
Oh, but everyone gets to see Meg's hair from behind.
That's
so
true.
that's
She has a
almost as
lovely
cool
head
as
of hair.
seeing water, but from behind. That's a jungle,
Don't lose the
a
sour candies.
jungle cruise reference.
We had a panic when we thought the sour candies had been consumed.
I almost started
By a
crying. I
teenager.
definitely wailed. And we're lucky that my shirt's still intact because I would have rended my garments if I had to.
Real sackcloth and ashes moment.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was going to get that sackcloth out.
Okay,
How
we're
is
good.
that?
Mitt. Yes.
That's so good.
Come join us.
Oh my gosh.
Andy's-
You're such a good
Raise those
Martha.
hands like there's a touchdown.
That's right.
Andy
Hallelujah.
says
we
we
have
have
a-
Touchdown has occurred.
What
So
is- I don't
we
know
need
what
to
that
talk-
YouTube
means.
seems to be working.
We need to
Although
talk a
there
little
is a
louder.
delay, which
Hearing
is
is
Yeah, that's
hard.
good.
So we need to talk louder for Instagram. Thank you, Melanie, for letting us know that.
Oh, will you? Okay, let's move it up. I got you, Melanie.
No, but this is on Instagram. Instagram is not connected to them.
Shh, don't you worry. Just give me one little second.
We're never gonna answer questions if you're.
Yeah, no,
canceling
you can
things.
start answering questions.
We haven't actually been asked a
Can
question.
someone ask us a goddamn
Since
question,
Andy,
please?
since Andy's.
My God.
Okay.
Jeez.
Oh, that's smart.
Friends, countrymen,
Yes.
lend me your ears.
Hold on.
Romans.
Oh my god, I'm not even ready.
I think about it every day.
You told us to answer questions.
No, I know.
Well, you can't mutter and ask
Now,
us to
you
answer
just
questions.
moved it to only.
Well, ask Lindsay a question.
Okay,
We just
Lindsay,
ask-
I'm
I
just
love
curious. Lindsay, I'm just curious. For me. This is for me.
Okay, from you, Andy Weber.
Tell me one of the cringy things you said as a kid. Oh, because you asked this on.
Oh, recently I
on-
posted TikTok asking people what is the weirdest thing you said when you were young.
But specifically,
Yes.
kind of cringy.
Yes, we are
Yes.
all high. How could you tell?
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
This
We're
is
really-
called-
This is kind
Hi.
of bumming me
Welcome
out.
to High Times with the Most High.
It's harshing my mellow really hard, so like that's a problem I'm having, and I
Can-
don't have a way to replenish.
Yeah.
So
Andy's the sober one. He's supposed to be helping us, and he's not.
I
helping at all.
don't even
Well,
know.
the
what
he's
that
just
problem
being
is
like,
that
Meg, what do we do?
There's literally just a camera.
We're having fun. I don't care if we're having problems.
Everybody, we love you, and I think it's fun.
Because I have a delicious beverage in my hand. I found this. My sibling, DL Mayfield, who's like kind of a atheist prophet, if that makes sense.
Definitely, yeah.
Got me this divest. This is a divest from Palestine pin for Christmas, not this last year, but the year before. And I just
Wow.
found it because the Lord wanted me to have it.
That's right.
So
That's right.
just wanted to. I'm having my own Mark Ruffalo moment. He's like one of the few celebrities who'll wear like a free Palestine, like
Nice.
a ceasefire now pin. So way to
Cool.
go, Mark Ruffalo.
So now, depending on which camera you're on, is right. Just this is tiny
really-
doll.
I know.
Because I'm close to this camera and
Here,
Lindsay is
here.
close to that camera.
Gotta go like
so
that.
Here
Okay.
we go.
All right. So what was the weirdest
Okay.
thing that you guys said? I said mine was unequally yoked. I know that there was weirder than that, but I just think as a child, like
washed
what
in the blood of the lamb. I'm washed in the blood of the lamb.
Yeah.
sopping wet.
Yep.
I mean, Amazing Grace, how sweet this sound that saved a wretch like me. I was like
Mhm.
a 5-year-old with cute little bangs and like
5-year-old little
pigtails.
wretch. We're just a
I was
little
such a
wretch.
wretch
a
because
little
I was
5-year-old
born
wretch.
evil, obviously, plus a girl. So boo, wah,
Double
wah.
bad.
Sorry, guys. That's directed to my parents. Just kidding. They're great.
Okay,
We're
you
all
need
great.
to scoot forward.
Oh.
Another like absolutely
Okay.
ridiculous thing we all said that we make jokes of now in regular conversation is hedge protection.
Unspoken.
Forgot about hedge of protection.
Hedge of protection is so good.
What is like a hedge? Like
Mhm.
plants are really protective. They're like,
No,
They're
hedges,
referring to
just a
Normandy
hedge of
when
protection.
the hedges in France. Oh,
so the Bible was written after Normandy.
This isn't even the Roman Empire. Now we're talking France. This is wild.
All right,
Wow.
enough from the chatter back there. Okay,
uh,
What's
hedge
the
of
weirdest thing?
protection.
Yeah, what did you say that was weird? You said nothing weird at all when you were evangelical.
Well, I mean,
She
everything
spoke
I
in
said
tongues.
was.
So that was
You spoke in a made up language.
I
it was a
had my
hot-
own prayer language.
Yes.
Okay, I still have it. It's mine.
It's true.
That's how you
just
know
pray to
it's
Satan-
yours.
do you just pray to Satan now with it?
No, it's like I'm going. Oh, I should just say this out loud to myself.
So you
'cause
don't
I'm
have to
just
think of words
talking to
because
myself.
that's
Yeah.
how it works for you.
What?
This is amazing.
I don't have to like say in English something. I can just like conceptualize things.
Whoa.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you know when you're reading and you're reading like every word. Or if you can learn to speed read, what you're doing is you're getting rid of the T's, the thes, the twos, the ands. You just don't have to.
You
just
just
don't
take
read
a picture of it and you're like, now I get it.
and you're like sentence.
It's
and
cool. It is really
It's
interesting.
fun.
It's a cool way to read.
so
How do you have to really?
You
like
can
us.
train
Okay, okay,
yourself
okay.
to speed read.
I just felt so in front.
I'm sorry.
On YouTube.
The
I was
problem is,
like,
like,
I was
It's a
like,
good
I
plan
don't
now.
want to sit with my own core strength this whole time because that
Oh.
doesn't feel good to me. And
Would
that's
you like to
why
lean
I
in?
wasn't.
Which
Yeah, I
one's
was
the
leaning back too far before.
Oh, you can lean.
Okay.
Okay,
uh,
thank you.
okay.
a TikTok user said, and this is more a statement than a question. You ladies seem angry. Response?
Oh
Yeah.
Are we angry right
I'm
now?
fucking furious. Oh shoot! I'm
not
sorry.
angry
Is
right
that
now.
allowed?
things are you? Yeah,
you can't
it's live.
curse on YouTube.
I'm so sorry.
How
guys.
many? How many things make you furious? Tell us, Sarai's
Somebody else, you tell me what I get furious about because I'm furious about a lot of things lately.
Patriarchy.
Yes.
The connection between the
God.
Republican
Yeah.
Yes.
Party
I
in
hate
America
that. I hate
and
that part.
the church.
White
so much the most.
nationalism.
Yes.
White
which is the
nationalism,
same
Republican.
thing as- yes.
evangelicalism.
Yes, you got it. Those are all things that make me furious.
Mm.
But it usually comes out as like a low grade frustration that just carries me through my daily life, grinding down my soul, like little bits by bit. But then I get to talk about it and it's exercised.
But then
Oh,
what do you do to get
What
it
about
exercised?
homelessness? How do you feel about housing
Goddamn.
in Oregon? It's
Oh
really
my
great,
God.
right?
You guys, okay, yes, it is great.
Soraya is like a goddamn expert on this topic. I don't know if you all know that she has done work in the sector for a gajillion years, and I can't believe we haven't done an episode on housing.
we will.
I think it's because we're too passionate about it,
It's-
honestly, and it will become like
And we
yeah.
might
It's-
seem
it's
angry
actually-
when we're talking about
Holy
it.
Ghosting is only just going to be about housing for like 9 seasons.
and
But
fucking
that's
house people,
how it's gonna
housing
be.
first. This whole
Yeah.
So
anyways.
we just drove by the new Square One Village the other day. I was thrilled enough to be able to go see this church and their property and their huge lawn. You know how I'm always talking about how much I hate lawns.
Wow, we are very specifically mad about a lot of really weird things, and I'm liking it.
But now it's all housing. It's beautiful. And we drove by and AP said,
Yeah,
Remind me.
you said there's no way this is going to lower people's housing
Oh, their
property values.
Did I say that? That's very
Yeah.
insightful.
I
Yeah.
mean, you were just like,
Yeah.
this is gorgeous. Like, people get to live here now. And also, it's just how community should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
so we're not angry.
I'm
about
not
community,
angry.
but we like that.
yeah. Yeah.
But you know, whenever women speak their mind on the internet, there's a little keyboard warrior out there accusing us of being too angry.
Yes.
So,
And I think we're
and by
not
keyboard
too
warrior, I mean
angry.
like
Am
I
bald
too
white man.
I think we could get a lot angrier, and probably we should get a lot angrier. So that's something I'm working on, and like experiencing the feeling of anger is really weird for me because I didn't allow
oh my
it.
gosh. Someone
What?
on YouTube is asking Project 2025. Anyone have comments on Project
Yeah, that's the thing to
2025?
make me furious. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. I've on purpose not learned about it because I can't handle it, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
not an
going to
expert
read
on it.
it. Maybe I'll read it live,
I know.
not
I
right
think
now,
That's a Sarai
but a different time.
spiritual gift right there.
That's right.
It's a little too.
And then you
it's
can
too
talk.
existential.
Then you can talk to
Yeah.
us about it
Yeah.
because what it gives. Okay, we learned about the end times,
Can
right?
DL,
when we were
can
kids.
you call me? I'd like you
DL,
to do
will
that.
you come?
Can you
hop on
just
this
do that one
live?
with me?
This is a question for my sister.
Can we
DL,
get DL on
Can
this
you
live?
please just let DL that I'm asking them out to do this?
Is it still okay? Does it matter if this is recording because it's had a hiccup and it stopped recording?
It's
Well,
okay.
just record
You know
again.
what?
Yeah.
We're just gonna
Like
keep
we're
going.
just
We're
gonna
all
trust in the
going.
Lord.
Still
That's
says
right.
there's an
We're
Trust
not
in
gonna
the
lean
Lord.
on our
Hallelujah.
own
You
understanding.
don't have to. You don't
Lean
have to
not.
tell me, Lord.
Yep.
It's fine.
In all our ways,
And we're back.
acknowledge AP.
Okay.
And he will direct
Direct
our
That's
path.
a beautiful thing
Okay.
Okay.
for
um,
me to remember.
Yeah.
do you guys want to answer a?
Guys?
Do you folk? Do
Thank you.
friends?
Do y'all?
Do. I'm not friends out. Do you want to answer a more serious
It's an
question?
American.
Sure,
Yeah.
we can do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, this one from Facebook.
Okay.
I have a lot of anger and awareness I can't make up for. What was lost, kept from me, and I wonder if I'll ever be okay. What was the most helpful aspect of your deconstruction that led you to any peace with your history? That's heavy.
That's a really great
No, I relate to
question.
this. I relate to this.
Okay, can we repeat some of that for people if they didn't hear?
Sure. So this person is asking, you know, they're angry and they're very self-aware about the things in their past that were deprived of them, that were lost.
Yeah.
And they're asking what part of your deconstruction has given you some amount of peace about your history. Helped you make peace with your history, I should say.
I'm very excited to answer this question. Can I just go?
Yes.
Yay!
Oh my God. You don't even have to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
permission
this
from
is
anyone.
this is my favorite thing in the whole world to talk about because it is the most important thing. And for me, in my deconstruction, my path was essentially to go and take my power back. Like that's how I thought about it. Is that I had given my power away to this religion and believed a lot of things that turned out to actually harm me over my life. And it was a moment of me saying, like, I'm going to stop letting my life just happen to me and then think that I need to suffer through it and endure more. I actually needed to like get out of this statue I built around myself and find out who I really am and like live in this moment in my body. And being able to liberate myself within my own body was the most important step for me, because what religion did for me as a person who was assigned female at birth, a woman, I identify that way still. I was taught that I was bad because I was born. We all were. And the same for any other gender. We were all born evil, but there was something extra evil about women. And we got to experience that being lived out day to day. It's such an extreme kind of misogyny that it's like steeped into our own bones, and it has cut us off from our own accessing our own power centers, because when we're like neck down is like forbidden territory, we are not able to be with ourselves. And so it's a constant way of denying ourselves and of our real needs, and it makes us really sick. And so for me, it all started with reconnecting in really tangible ways just into my body. And I started by doing chakra meditations I found on like Apple Music at the time. And there was one I found that I really liked, and I did it every day. And it helped me so much, because the main thing that I started with it was feeling into spaces in my body that felt really scary to feel. Things like, definitely for me, my root, which is like kind of perineum area on a body, is sort of where that's symbolized to be. And that's a space where I had been completely shut off. I've never felt like rooted or grounded and stuff. So there's this experience of letting yourself feel that place. And it's almost like for a long time, the only sensation I had in my body in these different places was pain. And that was all that I could feel, because I couldn't respond to any other subtle cues. I didn't eat right. Like, I didn't eat when I wanted to, because I didn't know I wanted to eat. I didn't, stick. I just wasn't well. I wasn't well because I couldn't feel what my body was telling me. So anyway, I think that reclaiming your own body, your own sovereign power over this body that you live in right now, in this life, that you will be able to think your way through lots of things, but you're not going to be able to fully heal until you get back into your body and learn how to hear it, communicate with it, and like be in harmony with it. And I don't mean in like weird, like wellnessy ways or anything, but just feeling yourself. That's the first thing. And really, I think the path to liberation is the more that we are liberated within ourselves and free to be who we really are, who we discover we are, when we allow ourselves to start like showing the shadow pieces that we didn't want to have to look at before. That's when we get to start really being alive. And it's just a wild ride.
So
Yes.
so your advice to this person who's trying to make peace with their past
Yeah.
is start in your body.
Mhm.
Start in your
Stop
body.
being heady. Start
Sure. Yeah.
being.
Yeah. And
Way to go.
also, I got a prize. Thank you. Yeah. And to be able to listen to that and take the steps to like get from that place of stuckness.
Yeah. And
What about? Can I ask a question? Because this wasn't asked, but what about the guilt of how you participated in a
sure. Yeah, we
corrupt
talked about
system?
that.
Anything that gives you peace.
I think doing this podcast gives me a little bit of peace. Like, I know that may sound weird, but talking through these things in community and acknowledging the parts we played. Obviously, we were harmed, and it's what we were taught, and it's how we were raised. And we went on to perpetuate some of those things. I think I give myself a lot of grace because of how young I was and because of how deeply entrenched in the system that I was. And also just knowing that, like, it's okay to admit that I was wrong, like really wrong, and that like I was judgmental and that wasn't myself, it was gross. And I've thought about like how I judged other people and, just thought about them in my head back when, and I was like, oh my God, they were doing that. They're just surviving. They were just like trying to get by, people just, the judgment about anyone we knew who was queer was not great.
Yeah.
Like, you just felt so bad for those people whose kids grew up to be gay. Just fucked up, but it's true. I mean, that is the sentiment that was overwhelmingly shown from my life. So I don't know.
Yeah, we're fired up about this too because we just recorded our episode about it. That's going to be coming out in a couple weeks. So, just talking about how we went from one hating ourselves, not knowing ourselves, but hating ourselves, and so hating who you truly are means that you're imperfect. So you're always fighting towards perfection. You're fighting to get to something that you will never attain. And like Sarai was saying, we have this, you're a girl, so you've got all these extra rules. Purity culture is a massive one of just shutting off your entire body.
It's no wonder that we are in tune with our bodies because we're like told to ignore it. Okay, I want to keep. There's a really good question here that I feel like Sarai is gonna have. We're all gonna have things to say about this. So Sarai, Food and Shoes asks, how do you think American evangelicalism can divorce itself from racism?
Oh boy.
Can I tell you my gut reaction?
Yeah.
It cannot.
Can't.
I was like,
is not
burn it
possible.
down.
Intertwined
Yeah,
with colonialism.
It
This
is.
idea of manifest destiny. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
I got it, yummy.
Yep. You did good.
Sarai, go. You got no.
I mean, I
This
just
is
did.
not-
That's literally the truth. Like it's.
This is not that kind of gummy. This is just sour.
Yeah, you're just
Mm.
I
sour.
have that kind of.
candy.
These are not sponsored from that one place that packages everything.
And uses racist names on their packaging, or has maybe gotten rid of it.
Hopefully.
Trader Jose's.
Those guys. God.
What?
And must you even taint my sour candy, Lindsay?
Sorry. They also use
Oh, hi
Wait.
Kevin. You should join us. How do we get Kevin
Yay.
on? Come on the live with us, Kevin.
make a request. I think we could add him.
Cool.
So what
Okay,
was the
great.
question again?
Do you have a question for us?
Oh, the question was about American
divorcing.
evangelicalism and divorcing itself from. It is synonymous with white nationalism in my mind, and I don't think can be separated.
I don't think it can
yeah,
be
it
either.
is intertwined. And like we talked about this, there's that mission of whiteness taking over
Yes.
and assimilation to whiteness.
yes.
And the fact that there is a white Jesus with blue eyes, that is who I was raised with.
We have the
Lord here
in here.
at some
we?
stage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's named the Lord,
Andy,
right?
you can find it back there.
Okay.
He's a picky
We
chick.
bought it to Yassify, but then we never did. So
Just haven't yet.
we just hide him sometimes
will.
so we don't have to make eye contact.
Gotta yes,
I'm pretty sure he has like hazily eyes.
I have another question.
Okay,
for you
let's
guys.
Joy
Somebody specifically.
on behind that box.
Somebody
You guys need
specifically
to
asked
stay
Meg.
closer.
Okay,
I think this will be a fun.
this is the best part about a live. Oh, you
You're
also
finding
can
what
bring me
Jesus.
that box too.
Have you also seen how people? There's like the frame picture of Ewan
There it is,
McGregor as
thank you.
Obi-Wan Kenobi, and
Oh, there he is.
Oh, that's a good one. That's cool.
this is Christ
Aw.
head.
Christ head.
This is
That's
Christ.
the name of it. I forgot.
do you remember?
We're
Can
gonna
I? May have even
bedazzle.
It's
doing
giving
it.
Christ head. That's what it
You
is.
get that good
That's why it's
Christ
called
head.
that.
Okay,
We got
it's
that
over
in
here.
the estate sale on my
Yeah,
state.
so this is Christ head. These are absolutely blue. These are 100%.
We have
blue
one
eyes.
of that.
Sinane from Take Out the Divine. Hi,
Sinane, what? Hi.
What? Hey, Sinead.
All of our
Yeah.
Okay,
All our
so
besties,
yeah,
our
friends of the
ghosty
pod.
besties.
here's our Christ head. Please give me your ideas because I'm gonna start
We're
doing
gonna
this.
glitter up this beard for sure.
Yeah.
Go look at the Precious Moments stall that we did for Flamey and Derek.
Not right
it's-
now, but like in a minute.
Yeah,
Write
like,
it down. Give yourself a
do it later.
Post-it.
Stay here and then do it later.
You gotta wait for the
Wait.
links, Meg.
Andy has a question for us.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
Jesus can
for-
answer
it's
the
really
question.
for
Okay,
Meg.
I need this. I need
Okay,
some
this is for Meg.
ideas. So give me ideas of like colors and styles and like some things to do.
Okay, Meg.
Yeah.
What was the response when you returned to base? This is a YWAM question.
Okay.
When you returned to base and told them how Jay had saved your life and how wrong they were about your friendship.
What was their response?
What was their response?
Okay,
I'm
so
assuming,
this
like, the
is
leaders.
yeah, so this is
Set up the scene. Who's
Yeah.
there?
this is
Mhm.
okay, good. I keep the ideas coming, please. Thank you. We had some good ideas over here on the Instagram live.
I'm excited.
Okay, so I if you didn't hear my YWAM horror story, you can if you want to go listen to that
It's
episode.
really, really brutal, but like well worth a listen to kind of understand what she's come out of and why we are doing a 4-part series on YWAM and how fucking terrible they are.
And another good reason why we are mad. Just
True.
harkening back to the
We
angry
are
thing.
So angry.
We're really angry.
We're so angry.
And that's another good reason
it
to
looks
be angry.
good on us though. When we
Okay, look.
hosted the Derek Webb and Flaming Grant show and we did our we're a podcast about deconstruction with your middle-aged mom friends, a lady came up and yelled at us afterwards and said we couldn't call
She
ourselves
said, "How dare you?"
middle-aged.
And we were like, we're all over 40, bitch. And she's like, oh, girls, yeah. Something
So,
like that.
Yeah, maybe she's born
That's
with
nice.
it. Maybe it's religious trauma.
Maybe it's religious trauma. It keeps you young.
It really
That's
does.
how you make peace with your past, though, is you live your life right now.
Okay,
Oh,
so
sorry. We
it's-
interrupted Meg only 8 things.
Oh, sorry, Meg.
Now.
It's not don't need to
Fun.
ever
Go.
apologize
Keep going.
for doing a thing we do for
That's
fun.
true. We do that. We do that.
Okay, so I get back to base. This is after I experience. I can't tell this whole story. It's you gotta just listen to the episode if you haven't. I get back to YWAM base, and I tell the leaders, hey, guess what? If he hadn't been with me, like if we hadn't been able to coexist in the world together, I don't think that I would have survived that. And they gave God all the credit. Like it instantly turned back into, yeah, well, you had the angels around you, you had the support, we prayed for you guys, there was protection.
Even though they had forbid you from being near
Right.
him, and had you not been near him,
Yeah.
things would have been much, much worse.
Yeah,
It's
So,
almost like God had a plan all along. He tricked us. We weren't complicit in trying to stifle you as a human being.
No, there was
was
no
God's plan.
No, of course, no conversation. Like, no, I'm so glad you had this friendship, or
Even
we're
an
really
apology,
sorry.
nothing, because you
because
can't
boys and
admit
girls-
being wrong.
and boys and girls cannot be friends. Literally does not
No.
exist.
I think we've all
No.
heard of and probably not watched
Impossible.
Harry Met Sally. I hope in this group because I
Not
haven't,
until
and I'm not going to
but
ever
much
watch
later in
Yeah,
my life.
This is my
Definitely-
solemn vow.
Definitely didn't watch it when I was young.
Yeah.
Oh
Can't have
gosh.
someone making orgasm sounds.
AP, do we have another question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dirty.
Okay, so
Love that one.
I'm not gonna read this whole question because it's long, but
Well, no, read the whole thing, please. We want to know what people asked us.
I can summarize.
Okay.
for you.
Okay. All right.
So this is a recent deconstructor, and they're actually just asking what your experiences were. They're experiencing coming away from the church and the way those people who were so integral to their life
Yeah.
are now responding to them and in a way shunning them. They
Yeah.
used the word shunning.
Mhm.
And they said, did any of you experience something like that? And if so, how did you get through it? And any recommendations for me?
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
Let's summarize the question real quickly. Just basically, if there are people in your life when you were deep in the church that were really important to you, that when you left the church then turned on you or aren't supportive of you anymore and haven't fallen out with them.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? Was that sort of
Yes, that, and also just that lack of support from community. As
Yeah.
well,
Right.
sounds like.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that a lot. The big loss of community is the thing that, like, for me, that's the one thing that I want to have here, is for us to be able to like hang out again on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
youth group was always on Wednesdays or Thursdays for me, but
feel
I'll
like
take
I
Tuesday
feel
if
like
we
Tuesday
have
was
it.
a good Bible study or small group night.
Yeah,
I feel like that was
Okay.
a good Tuesday
Small
night.
group.
So we're here just having a small group, just having a Holy Ghost in small group.
Perfect.
I'm sorry, I get these questions are really heavy, so and I am high, so I need to like
You need a moment.
I need to process for a moment.
I have. Do you have one?
Yeah, I don't have that much to say other than like now I am at the place where it's like hard when you're in it, but when you're out of those toxic systems and you look back, I definitely have more of the like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Like if you can't be supportive of me now and who I am, like in being my real self and being honest, like with myself and other people, which I am a recovering people pleaser. Like I still have a hard time being honest of like where I am at in my faith. And it's easy to be like, I still go to church, but that doesn't mean I don't have a gajillion questions. And it also doesn't mean that church doesn't look drastically different than the ones I was raised in. I almost get embarrassed to say that I still go at points because church is so fucking toxic. And I'm grateful that I found a place that isn't toxic, but I think that is rare. Yeah, but I'm definitely in the, maybe it's the angry woman thing still. It's like people can't have a conversation with me. Like you don't have to agree with me, we don't have to be on the same page, but to turn on me and to I'm like fuck them. That's where I'm
That's
at.
good advice.
I think that is good advice, and that sums it up. So moving on. Just kidding. This is like also a huge part of my story is this has happened to me in waves. And so the first time that it really started was I did start deconstructing mainly from my Republican bent on Christianity. And I've talked about that a lot of times on the podcast, so I won't belabor it here. But the process of that included a very strong feeling of not being supported by my church family first. And so there was a period of time at the church I grew up in. I went to college for 3 years and then I ended up coming back for 2 years between my junior and senior years. So I was back in Oregon for that time and back at that church that I grew up in. And there was a pastor there that was very weirdly controversial in the congregation. Like I think about it now, and this is like one of the cringiest times of my young adulthood / whole entire life, but especially as a Christian. It was a little bit brutal sometimes, just the way that we were doing Christianity. But anyway, I was going there and my family had beef with the pastor. It was like a whole thing, blah blah blah.
Christian
Meanwhile,
beefs are really fun.
people are all talking on the side and we're all like making alliances or not, and having these like wild conversations with everybody. And I just was at like the peak of breaking up with God, right? So like I started to have this big like this isn't for me, this isn't a community of people I can count on, because I could see I couldn't trust people because they were talking about everything with everyone and like getting me involved in drama that I was like, I don't know, I'm 22. Like, do I have to do 24, I guess. 24. This is 20 years ago. Oh my God. And yeah, it was kind of the first time that I realized that like people who I thought of as my family, who I literally have known my whole life in this case, like were not trustworthy and didn't actually want to help me in my life if I wasn't going to be exactly like them, which in that case meant like conservative Republican. And that's what's also really weird about it. So there's that. And then when I finally did leave, it was for a lot of complicated reasons, but ultimately it ended up that I had gone back to the church for a little while, and then I got to a point where I knew I had to leave. Like I just had to. I was assaulted, and then the pastor and others had lots of opinions about it. But then ultimately, I decided to divorce my then husband, and so that was what got me kind of out of it the next time. What was really wild was just the experience of being so silenced and unheard. And at the time, I was like, this was 9 years ago. Like, it was not that long ago. But I was, for the first time, really being able to assert my own self and like my opinions and things. And I found that I was in disagreement with that doctrine a long time this part's getting boring. Sorry. I'm high. I can't do this very good. Somebody has to help me shorten
Next
it.
question.
Point being, it sucks, but also it's
So-
okay. You can also find yourself in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Like you don't need those
Summarize,
people.
you
They're
will
not
realize
yours.
they suck.
You will realize they suck. Yeah. But also I like let's talk about that. I think that's a good topic for us to like talk away.
Yeah.
Because I think that is definitely worth more discussion and more conversation because it is a weird part of it that's hard to describe as evidenced by me not stopping talking.
Sarai, here's another one. Speaking of how much we love to hear Sarai talk, do you have any experience or advice for a late bloomer by queen deprogramming from purity culture and exploring sexual connections with women?
Yeah.
We love a late bloomer by Queen.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I don't know that we can answer this right now because we literally have an episode on it coming out in a couple of weeks where we like really get into like the nitty gritties of us all figuring out our queerness.
I love it.
Yeah.
But yes, I do. And surprise, surprise, it starts with getting in touch with your body, right? So the best thing that I learned to do was learn how to look at and feel my body as completely amazing and beautiful throughout whatever phase. And it's hard to do that when you're first learning it.
Yeah.
For me, it was like truly about radical self-love. So I recommend things like oh my gosh, Radical Acceptance by Tara Brach is a great book that helped me to learn about how to love myself and have self-compassion. And then The Body Is Not an Apology by Sonia Renee Taylor, which is one of the most amazing books about your body liberation I think that exists. Meg and I are in a book club that is purportedly about that book where we insist on, I think we're on chapter 3 still, and we've been doing it for over a year, but that's okay.
It's been 1 year on 3 chapters.
Yeah. So, but it's worth that much pondering because it's truly amazing. So I recommend seeking out new ways of relating to yourself, new ways of being able to see yourself. So a couple practices. One, I learned this from my mojo coach, which is like when I first was like, I'm going to liberate myself, I was like, I need a mojo coach. And I met this person. Her name is Deborah Renee. Nope, not Deborah Renee, whatever. Deborah Rachel Kagan. And she was my mojo coach for a while. And I learned this practice from her where you take a bath. And I love taking baths because I don't know, I'm just like all water signs and stuff. So take a bath, and when you wash your body, like look at your feet and just like be delighted by your toes and tell your toes how cute they are. And it's like it sounds so silly to do it, but when you actually speak out loud like words of affection to your body, you feel it differently and you start to have sensation in places that it's like not even sexual at all. It's just like your own feelings in your own body. And so that's my first thing. And then the other beautiful thing is learning what your edges are. Like for me, it's starting to come up in like, oh, I realize that I really don't like having cold feet, so I'm gonna wear socks like all the time. Like that's a thing that's like important to me, and I'm gonna just do it, right? But it took me a really long time to identify that as something that even made me feel better. So I think being really comfortable, like focusing on your comfort, focusing on building out the spaces in your home and your environments, but also with yourself and in relationship to yourself. And also just being open, because the truth is like when you feel yourself, when you're like, I feel so good because I love myself and I'm gonna just hang out and do what I do because I want to do what I want to do, you will be ridiculously attractive to people who are like, you know, have your vibe or want something like you to be around them. Like that's a beautiful thing. So like the more you
just like yourself more.
Yeah.
Like I think that's like we get it on like all ends as women, as people like socialized as female who were raised in the evangelical church, because everyone from all sides of us has taught us to hate our bodies for a myriad of different reasons. Like we live in a fat phobic white supremacist world who's decided what bodies should and shouldn't be, especially for females. And so I think that like it may sound silly, but something is like telling your toes how cute they are or whatever. Like it is an act of resistance. Like it's very radical to accept your body. And I struggle with this. Like my internal monologue is all negative about my body all the time. And so like stopping to thank it for something and those little things, it's wildly powerful.
I have the other thing that I do. If it's okay if I just finish this one thought, I will try to get it out fast.
You're fine.
I also have this thing where like if I'm activated by a picture or a home video, my dad made a compilation for each of his kids of home videos we took as kids, and I'm awkwardly older than all of the rest of my siblings, and I'm watching it like for the first time raw and just being like, what the hell? I hated it so much, and I was so embarrassed. I was like, this was when I was married but not I hadn't had kids, and I really felt even then like I don't want to react to my child self like that. Like I hate that kid, you know? And what I wanted to do was at least come to a place of neutrality minimum, you know, if not better than that. And so I do that now. I like call it time traveling, where you can look at pictures of yourself, even if you look at pictures of yourself from 1 year ago, from 2 years ago, from 10 years ago, like any age, you can look at that picture and see the person in it as somebody who's worthy of love. And you can offer that love to that person that you were at that moment in that age. And it becomes easier to start to connect back with that vulnerable person that you had to armor with all of these tricks and tools and like religious trauma layered on top. It's like scar tissue around your own senses. So I really love revisiting my little past selves, especially the ones that I find the most cringy and embarrassing. The ones that I'm just like, oh my God, you were such an asshole. Like, I'm so embarrassed I was that person. But I also love that person because, like, I know that for sure I was always doing the best that I possibly could. You know, I know that. And
Back when
we
you were
all
running
were.
around talking about being washed by the blood.
That's right.
Back when you're saying creepy shit.
Hallelujah.
Creepy shit.
Hallelujah.
Like little 5-year-old just being like, oh, which at some point we want to, like, before we wrap up, we want to talk about some of the weirdest
Do it.
songs from our childhood.
We have one more heavy question.
I don't know. What's the vibe? Can we I don't know if I can handle
Can we
another heavy
do
right now.
one funny, not heavy question, and then we
Yeah.
come back to the
No funny question.
Andy,
Okay.
guys.
I don't like you
Yeah, you
being
want
in
to talk
charge
about
of this.
the cringy songs you sang as kids?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we were just talking
Yeah,
about.
that's what I
Okay.
think.
Good that's a great segue, Andy. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Okay, so this,
Wow.
So we all agree this was my idea.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah,
yeah,
Thanks
thank
so
you.
much
Wow.
for your
What a
voice.
leader. Wow.
It's been
That
so
leadership
great.
quality right there.
Well, it's a woman that can't be our idea. That's
No, I know.
We've never, yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think we've heard enough from you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So what happens to me when I have partaken in the edibles is that I get like deep cuts from evangelical like worship services stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my God. So
not always the kid songs.
I'm sorry. What were
mostly
you just singing before we
Shout
started
to
this?
the Lord
right.
of the earth,
And how do you not
bless
join
him.
in?
And then
Yeah.
she muttered on the side, like, keep it for the live.
Yeah, I told myself save it for the pod. Save it for the pod.
Save it for the pod.
And also, fun fact is when I when that edible hits and the snacks are tasting really good, every time, like when I take a bite of something, it was like the most perfect bite. Every time, without fail, when my eyes are closed, I think, thanks be to God. And then after that, usually my brain fills in and forget not his benefits. Every time. That's the thing that happens to my brain. So, is that religious trauma? Yes, it
And
is.
forget.
But now it's just a cute little
His
quirk.
benefits. Forget not his benefits.
It's a fun party trick, guys.
Yeah. No one understands this party trick.
I don't like
my
that.
husband doesn't understand it. He hates it when I break into like Amy Grant. He
Yeah.
he was raised by heathens. He doesn't know.
Love will find a way. I don't know. Is
Like
that
if
a
we
song?
started
I
singing
think
"Friends
I
Are
made
Friends
that.
Forever," he would be like, "What the fuck is this song?"
That's because he didn't go to camp.
Poor kid.
What a
He's
nerd.
missing out. Really
Nick.
missing out.
You're a
Okay.
nerd.
If you don't know,
Go back further pre-camp.
So pre-camp,
What was
the songs
the
that
cringy songs?
they weren't even cringy so much.
Okay,
No,
just
they were.
Jesus loves me.
Right.
Mm.
I don't even know. Can we say?
Let's
like,
exegete that song.
There's a list of colors in this song.
there's a list of colors that apply to
It
people.
says red and yellow, black and white. They are precious in his sight.
Did you have to sing it to yourself during
have-
that pause so that you could remember the lyrics? Because that's what I have to do.
No.
It's like burned into my soul.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, well, it's definitely real racist, but ubiquitous in our childhood. And the song is called Deep and Wide.
Deep and wide,
there's a fountain
flowing
deep and wide.
Deep and wide. There
That's
can
what
oceans.
she said.
Oh,
Nice,
Deep
nice.
and wide is a good one.
Yeah.
What else?
That's a nickname for your mom.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good your mom Christian joke.
What is it? I may never
March in the infantry.
ride in the cavalry.
Shoot the artillery.
I like that this song
And then the boys
says,
make their machine gun sounds.
I may never.
Right.
It
Yeah.
doesn't.
Because we can't shit on. Like I was hoping it was secretly
Still
a pacifist
nationalism.
song.
Mhm.
Like I was hoping it'd be like, because I was thinking like, I will never
Mhm.
march.
I like that. Let's.
It had
okay.
a lot of resolve in that case. Then it would be like,
But that does not
Quaker.
fit with Christian nationalism. They're like training up tiny soldiers.
It
for the
says,
Lord.
yes.
It says,
Correct.
I may never, because you might not get to march, like you might not get to be in the infantry.
Maybe Christian nationalists have changed it. It's evolved
Also, they
to
didn't
I
ride
will
on
definitely.
cavalry. So
Cavalry.
I would not have had the opportunity to ride in the cavalry. It's just we didn't have that anymore.
Cavalry.
Yeah, that word.
Cavalry.
You don't have to keep pointing out how I can't say
Okay,
it.
what I want to say very specifically is the fact that you call it cavalry shows that you were a fucking Christian as a child, because that's like, of course.
Computer.
I'm sorry.
Because
Must
like
be
Calvary
planned.
Chapel. Yeah, and Calvary Hill. You know,
Uh-huh,
there's
yep. No,
sing
cavalry.
a lot of songs about Calvary.
Okay, well that shows
But not the
my
cavalry.
not the
blue
cavalry.
streak.
That was a very confusing thing they
Okay.
did to trick us.
Yeah.
And
What about? Do you guys remember the "Oh You Can't Get to Heaven" song?
in a washing machine.
Yeah. Oh, you can't get to heaven.
Friends of the show, friends of the show. You can't get to heaven in a mini skirt. Another podcast about deconstruction
Mhm.
with not your middle-aged mom friends, but other people who are hip and cool and young. I'm pretty sure.
Are they?
Just like
I
you guys.
I had
Good for
totally
them.
forgotten about that song until I saw their podcast cover. It's just "Heaven in a Miniskirt." That's the name of the
Mhm.
podcast.
Mm.
And that particular line in that song is, "No, you can't get to heaven in a miniskirt because God don't want no little flirt. All my sins are washed away.
I've been redeemed.
The
What?
original Sinfluencer,
I'm
also
sorry,
a friend
what?
of the pod.
Why were
We all
hates
love you guys.
Why
flirts.
were we
Do not
singing
flirt.
that song?
Straight to hell."
I don't feel like that was one. Was that a real lyric?
Yes.
From.
That's how I remember it. Anybody else? Anybody else?
I didn't know that was a real lyric.
That's a real lyric. I didn't make it up. That's not a High Times lyric.
Oh, you
That's
are
not a-
blowing
that
my
was not
mind.
just
It's not a
Oh,
Stranigan
man.
original. I
Oh
wish.
my god,
Because God don't want no little flirts.
I don't like that.
But then all my sins are washed away. I've been redeemed. It's really
Yes.
mixed messaging.
I think
Like God
back
doesn't
to
want
that-
flirts, but
you can be a recycled virgin, in the words of Rebecca St. James.
Okay,
if
what
I
are
didn't nickel for
That's
every
a
time she did that.
that's a better segue right into cringy things you said when you were a virgin. Okay,
Said or did.
said or did
Oh,
either
both.
way. Like,
Both
what did
things.
you what was cringy stuff you said? I was not as good of a girl apparently because I only waited 2 months before kissing a boy, not 3.
Why
months.
would you wait that long? That's a terrible idea.
Well, 2
You
months
gotta lock that down.
felt.
You gotta lock that down.
I don't know. Jesus was in the desert 40 days. I feel like
Yeah, I thought he did all that stuff as a sacrifice for our sins, and I don't think I need to repeat it. Seriously, like, yes, following Jesus'
Sorry.
footsteps doesn't mean
Sorry to
like
let you
you're
kiss
gonna
me.
suffer on the cross.
The arbitrary like Jesus date. So like people would take like you just do 40 days of something, right? Because Jesus is
yes,
like
That's
clearly
the
that is the
magic
holiest
day.
number
on
of
earth.
days.
On earth.
Like
It's
if you
the
have to-
only amount.
Because like there's
It's
7
also actually like totally
for
pagan, which is also
creation.
fun. So it doesn't even
Right.
matter.
but
it's like my faith.
when you come to earth as God, 40 days is the amount you suffer for,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And then before you start your next suffering.
and or 40
is
nights.
why, because you might
often both.
need to endure
Yeah.
again.
Mhm.
Was that the flood as well?
Was it? Uh-oh, you're the
Maybe.
Bible scholar.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think-
have
I think
a
so.
40 days and 40
degree in
nights.
Yes,
Bible.
that's
Yeah.
right.
So an appropriate amount of time to not let Andy
There's probably a
kiss
song
you.
about that. And the
Thank you.
rain came down. Yeah. Good job.
Uh-huh.
You did it.
I'm trying to think what was the cringiest thing I said. Everything I did was cringy. I remember my youth pastor brought me and my boyfriend at the time up like on stage at youth group and like said like that my boy pointed at him and he's like a can of gasoline and then pointed at me and said
Hot.
I'm the match. You know, and so like if I because I'm the one who's gonna get that flame going.
Oh,
He
yeah, you
can't
are.
once it's on fire, he can't turn that off.
It's
right? 'Cause
not
he's
his
a
fault.
bulldog.
It
not his fault.
burns.
Anything that happens, it's
Because
just
blue balls are only one person's fault, and that's not his.
correct.
You don't
That's
know, touch
what-
yourself.
That's what I learned.
You can't touch yourself. You gotta
can't
let
let-
someone else take the hit for that sin.
But not
Yeah.
nobody can.
We have a
Yeah.
question from
Wait, I didn't
food
ever
and
get to
chi- Oh,
talk
your
about
turn.
mine. But no, I forgot the question. So what was it that we were saying? You said blue balls.
Oh,
Oh, this is my
Halloween.
favorite.
We fucking
Okay,
love talking about Halloween.
sorry, really quickly before Halloween time, I would like to just say that my best move when I was a virgin, like awkwardly a virgin, it's like I didn't even want to be anymore, didn't care, but I didn't know how to date someone that wasn't a Christian. Like it was really weird.
It's the worst.
So-
bummer. What a bummer.
Like this one guy asked me out once who was a regular at my coffee shop. And I was like, oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, cool. Is it cool if my friend Kyle comes? Because I was like hanging out with Kyle right then. And he's like, well, I'm not really up for group shenanigans. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just with Kyle right now. So I'm going to stay here. And
Because
then
you had no idea how to be flirted with.
I didn't know what to do. I
That's
just was
great.
like, okay, I'm going to see if you can come. And then another
You
guy.
kinda instituted the Mike Pence rule.
I totally did. I was just like, well, I mean, Kyle could hang out alone, but that was fine because we were just best friends getting up to stupid
Yeah,
mischief.
Kyle
It was
seems
like
fine.
my favorite in the world. I love you, Kyle. Please, someone tell Kyle how much I miss him. But yeah, so that was definitely what I did. I also did it. This like guy that we knew from church, who was like kind of the like kind of weird older guy that hangs out with the youth group, where you're like, oh, you're over 30, like what?
You know who you are.
And anyway, he asked me to go to a banquet with him, and I was like, "Oh, cool! Can Kyle come?" And he was like, "I was hoping it would just be you and me." And I was like, "Oh, I can't go. Kyle can't go."
Still fighting fucking Kyle.
If anyone ever asks me out and I don't want to go, now
You're
you
just
know my only move is gonna be like, "Oh, cool! I'm gonna bring my friend Kyle," and now you know. But yeah, thanks Kyle for
There you
being my
go.
date breaker.
If you ask her out and she says she's
Kyle-
gonna invite Kyle.
Kyle was your own personal Holy Spirit. Like you made room for
Yeah.
the Holy Spirit. The Holy
Yeah.
Spirit was Kyle.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Kyle.
That's actually what Danielle was for me. Danielle, I didn't want it. Danielle was always like sitting in between me and my mates. Like it was always just like totally the prudish younger sister who was like, Lindsay, you're sitting too close to a boy. And like 100% was the biggest just harsh in my mellow constantly. Danielle was the ultimate cock block. 100%. I probably would have gotten in a lot more
DL,
trouble.
the ultimate cock
DL.
block. I feel like that's merch that we should also sell mutually.
Danielle would be proud.
Yeah.
Danielle would own
I
that.
like it.
Yeah,
That's
like
really
that.
good. Good job,
Yeah.
DL.
Was there a question about Halloween?
Oh yeah,
was.
did y'all get to celebrate Halloween?
As children?
Yep.
You mean last year? I did. Thank you. COVID was rough
when we
because
were
we didn't get to.
sheltered fundies. No, I got to go to harvest parties.
Absolutely.
We did a lot of harvest parties. I could go trick or treating, but my mom didn't want to take me. So like we'd pretend to be against it unless someone else offered to take me, and then I could go.
Yeah, my parents they
That's
would
cool.
take us trick or treating because I think it was like too cruel to not let us get candy and like dress up.
Nice.
Hmm.
But
What
a lot of
ages?
rules about what we could and couldn't wear as costumes.
Oh,
Nothing-
No ghosts.
I mean,
No
obviously.
ghosts, nothing spooky, scary, no witches.
no
fucking
fucking witches. Get out of
nothing
here.
slutty.
Nope.
Nothing scary, nothing bloody.
Nothing
So I
bloody,
was like
yeah.
princess, Raggedy Ann.
Hot. Nice.
It's
We all know
probably,
Meg
like,
has this strong affinity
think
for
a
the
rabbit,
Raggedy Ann and
like a
Andy
bunny.
characters.
a bunny tracks. I am a bunny.
A
lady.
bunny?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
You
that,
guys
and
are
then
both bunny ladies.
Yeah. I wish my bunny were here right now.
we.
Yeah, I'm
Megan
surprised you
and I-
didn't bring
Megan
her
and I
in.
are really bad for each other in the like. Do you want to get another animal?
How many animals do you guys have between you?
like,
Could you
hey-
count up your collective number of animals? Don't include mine. This isn't about me. Andy, side note, AP Weber, do not include this part about me.
I'm
Okay?
getting my calculator out
Don't
right now.
ask me. Include only theirs.
This is a question for Sarai.
Damn it.
How many
13.
cats do you have?
13. Okay? It's terrible.
If
Spay and
you-
neuter your
Does
animals.
anybody need a kitten?
If you
Yes,
live-
they
you
are
know-
so
If
cute.
you live in the Oregon
Can we load
area,
some pictures of the kittens to put on
Yeah, we'll
here?
edit that in
I would
post.
love.
it's not happening.
Yeah, we'll do it live. Okay.
We should have the kittens in the live, but they're literally
so cute.
They're just
10 kittens at your house.
so
9
adorable.
There's
right
10 kittens,
And they're
along
all
with
10
my
babies who
3
need
existing
homes.
cats, 2 of whom just produced 10 kittens between them. because of me. Obviously, it's my fault as their owner. They couldn't get abortions on their own, and I didn't give them a ride. That's on me.
You didn't give
And
them
now
a
I have
ride.
13 cats, and that's how I know I'm a witch. Thank you.
The end.
Thank you for the ask.
This has been
And
a great
the
live. We'll
last,
see what
the
was
last
hitting. I'm
ones
joking.
were born on the last full moon as
That's
well.
right. They
So
were.
if you would like a witchy cat,
To my familiar punt /
Also,
Jezebel.
I'm just saying, Melanie, you gotta go listen. We also have a Halloween episode.
Yes.
It's Halloween, and
We
it
do
is my
talk a
favorite
lot
episode
about
because
this.
now we are all really fucking into Halloween, and I aim to be the queen of Halloween. Like every year, I buy more. Like my family comes to me. We go trick or treating in
Yes.
my neighborhood. My neighborhood's very good for trick or treating. I
we'll show
I think it's the
Lindsay's
most fun
house this
holiday,
year.
and
Yeah.
I'm sad that I missed out on Halloween a lot as a child because it's like so joyful and fun.
It's
like,
really
the costumes
fun.
And,
I'd also like
I
to
love it.
side recommend Demons Watching Over Me, and it's
Mm.
its a counterpart,
Mhm.
the extra demon test,
Yes.
because that's also a spooky episode that's like kind of Halloween adjacent, just like a
Demons
little bit.
watching over me.
Okay, you
It's
can go
about
look.
to
The demon
do.
test is only for patrons, but if you go
Yeah, that's
and
what I said.
find it on YouTube, you can watch it.
We
What
took-
are you doing?
We took a test
Only
to see
people
if
who
we're
are on
demon
this live are
possessed or if
gonna
we have
hear it.
signs of demon
Alright.
possession. It's a real test online that you can take.
That's
You
true.
too can find out. if you're possessed by
Demontest.org,
anything.
and I'm pretty sure it's hosted by Bob Larson.
It is, and we're still on his email list because you have to give him your email. to
do.
the
It's
test.
the best.
And we haven't unsubscribed because they're fucking hilarious.
It's amazing. I
So
think we're
we
gonna
should
hire
read
him.
we should read.
We're gonna
some
have
of
him on the
those.
show.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of demons, you have a question about mental health.
Great.
Oh, great
Good.
segue.
Good.
I know.
Give it,
It was
That's
good.
really
give
good.
him his
It was
flowers.
good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you want a
here,
gummy?
you get a gummy.
No, you get a
I'm
gummy.
good.
They're
Andy
not
doesn't- Andy
that
doesn't want a
kind of
gummy.
gummy. You
Oh,
can
no,
have
it's-
these.
It's fine.
He's sober
I
from
pass
just
on
regular
drugs.
gummies.
It's not that.
Okay, so
such a square.
the question is how to respond to evangelical Christians when they're skeptical about your mental health struggles, or make comments about you just need God or the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
not a therapist or a psychiatrist, or you need to read or pray the Bible. Read or pray the Bible.
Okay.
Yes.
Pray or read the Bible,
So
and you'll be happy.
Yeah, we've talked about.
How do you respond to these people? Is it worth doing?
I have a question about the people back, which is like, are these people your people?
Hmm.
Like, do you trust these people to be your people, even if you tell them, no, thank you for your advice. I have a doctor. Like, I work with my psychiatrist or whoever it is that you're getting support from, which I hope you are. And I really, really support you in doing that if you haven't. I think it's one of the most important things you could do, that in your body liberation. Like, it's crucial. So my thought is, if people are questioning you about what you know is true about you and or how you are feeling or whatever, and especially if you have other supports and or know that you can get them, because I want to tell you something, like, I've lost a lot of people along the way. I lost a lot of people, whether or not they were people that I grieved losing along the way. It varies, but it's hard to lose your support, and that's one of the hardest parts of picking up and moving forward out of a high control religious situation. Yeah.
And I will also say, as people who were all diagnosed later in life with our own mental, we each have different diagnoses. And for me, mine is anxiety, and I am on Lexapro now. And we tried so hard to pray it away.
Yeah.
And we truly believed that God would heal us.
Mhm.
And we did that for a really long time to our detriment.
Yeah.
And so if people are still pushing back and saying that like God would fix this, I think God would have fucking fixed it.
Yeah.
Now, if
Yeah.
he was gonna, you know,
Especially
like,
in a little kid. Like,
Yeah.
give me a
Yeah.
break.
And like, what if you could imagine a God that was so great that he could be like, yes, I support you in getting support for the things that are happening inside your human brain. Like, I think there's room for God to be like that. Really. Like, I just don't know why God couldn't be that cool.
and gave us these plants and these things. Like, thank
Yeah.
God for cannabis, you know.
And
We're-
thank goddess
Goddess,
for
yeah.
like creating people who do science stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like, this is the thing to me, is if there's help available that you could benefit from, there's no reason why you should forego that.
And does that say, do those same people not take Tylenol when they have a headache? Like,
Right.
do they just pray to the Lord? Like,
Yeah.
I also think the Lord is too busy.
Yeah.
It's fine. Like,
He
you
doesn't of course the patriarchal God I'm referring to, but
Right.
but
Yeah,
in,
the
in
one that you're-
the more generous
Yeah.
case, whatever.
Right.
God yes.
When you're talking to a person who thinks that you don't need counseling, you need the Lord, that person is dealing with a he God.
Yeah.
That's
That's what I'm
Yeah,
that's my
yeah,
vibe.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
yes, thank you. But that person has no right to say anything to you about your mental health. And if you want to have some boundaries about it, it's very okay for you to say things like, oh, thank you for your concern. I'll pray for you.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, thank you so much for wanting to help me. I'm dealing with it and with some really good support. Like those people don't get the right to speak into your life because they're not for you. Like they're not here for you as you are and your experience. They're trying to fit you into some script that they have for you because you're supposed to just be like they are and kind of go along with the flow, whether it's right or not.
I think here's the thing. I feel like we should probably wrap up soonish
we're
because
good.
we've
It's been
kept
an
you
hour.
all for an hour, and if I'm going to keep going, I need to smoke more. So
Good point.
That's where I'm at. I'm
Yeah,
ready
me
for
too.
soft pants and a snack. I don't know about
Yes.
you guys. I hope that we're gonna go have communion together now.
Yeah.
We're all gonna
with-
sit on the same side of the table.
Our communion
together.
is rosé
We are. Yep.
and late July hints of lime tortilla chips.
Yes.
With 2 different kinds of salsa.
great.
Mhm.
That's what we have waiting for us right over there. I hope you have
Very
something
good.
equally delicious
Yes,
in your
get a
future.
snack, please.
And-
do.
Enjoy your libations.
Let us know. Should we do this again? It's rare that we're in the same room because I live 2 hours that away.
Yeah.
But we want to try to do this here and there. We're glad that people joined. I was a
Yeah.
little nervous.
Yeah,
Like,
this
we've
was
never
really
done
fun.
this.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks for hanging with us through our tech difficulties, and we'll publish this to our Patreon at some point.
Yes. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you,
Bye.
ghosties. Good job. Good job. Good job. We did it live.
Okay, and now. So we sharing, right? Yeah.